Hello everyone! Hi, here is Elena from Legacy Tree, and today we have a live bridge with Jonathan Dale from Scotland. Hi Jonathan!
Hi, hi.
Oh, perfect. The technology is working, so we can get started. And today we've got some tree updates for you. So I'm very excited to listen to all of it. Johnny went to the Croft, finally after the lockdown. It's been quite a while. And now we've got all those updates. So I'm all ears and give the word to you, Johnny. So tell us more, step by step about all the updates.
Yeah, thank you, Alina. Yeah, it was good to get back to the Croft, and I think the second day I was there, I went to see the trees that I'd planted in March. Just it was rowan and birch. I'd only planted, but I planted about 50. Within a number of days, but it was really bad weather in March, but I got them done and I got them in, so I was excited to see them how they'd done, because I was worried about them, and they're like my children, as I said before in the previous interview. They're like my children, so I was all, oh, how are they and how are they doing, and I wondered did all of them survive, but I was delighted to see the every one of them had leafed and done exactly what I wanted them to do. They were
You!
all, they were all happy, as if to say, yeah, I've been through the transplant and I've got through it, and I'm through the winter, and I didn't expect them to start to grow yet. I just wanted them to leaf and make sure the leaves were green and healthy looking, and they were. So I was delighted to see that every one of them that I planted were survived, and I was delighted at that. So I was all happy. I was jumping for joy, and did a wee dance, sort of, which was because I was so excited and so delighted that every one of them was like that. I think I've posted a video on Facebook, just a short one. I took a short one. I was that delighted. I think I was overexcited, and it was very
Yeah,
windy,
yeah.
so I don't think you could hear me very well. But anyway, it was good. I was delighted that every one of them had shown leaves and looking good. So I was very happy.
It's really a miracle, Johnny, because normally, a little tree when planted, and you planted it end of February, beginning of March, right? And then the lockdown started. So, and actually, I wouldn't even expect that all the trees survive, but
Yeah,
we were lucky. So the legacy
yeah,
trees
yeah,
are doing good, and the planting at the Croft is going forward.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I saw the video. It was actually very, very windy on video. So is it
Yeah.
always like this? Do you always have that strong wind at the Croft?
Well, just before I taking the video, it was calm. So that's the thing about Loch Eriboll. I think during wartime, it was said by sailors that come into the loch, it was called Loch Horrible, because the reason why they were saying they meant by that was horrible, I mean horrible. And what they meant with that, it's not the beauty, it was the weather they meant. The weather can just go from calm to, in a split second, it can change.
Oh, so
In a
fast.
split second, in a minute, it can just go from calm to a stormy wind. So just a few seconds or a few minutes before I made that video, it was calm. It was calm. There wasn't a breath of wind at all. So that was the nickname that Loch Eriboll got by sailors. Oh, you're not going up there. It's Loch Horrible. And to me, it's a beautiful loch, but and it's a beautiful area, but it can be very, very changeable and very, very, in a short space of time. But the trees seem to, as long as they're planted together and as long as they're planted near each other, they support each other in numerous amount of ways. By coping with the wind, they have their own mechanisms to cope with the wind. So the rowan and birch and alder are not that bothered about the extremes of wind. They can cope very well. You know.
Oh, that brings me to another question, right? If the weather is so changeable, so it means that there is a particular reason, like weather reason, that you are planting particular types of trees, you know,
Yeah,
species.
yeah,
Yeah, and you
yeah.
mentioned rowan and birch are very, very steady towards the wind, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and planted close together, it helps them cope
Yeah.
better with the wind. You know, if you plant them individually, they can blow over or uproot. But I've never known a birch to uproot really. Birch is really, it gets its roots down deep, you know, and it gets a real connection to a connection to the ground. So it's a hardy tree. It's not a it's no mug. It's no mug. The birch tree. It's a very hardy tree, and it's a very it's strong tree. So it's fantastic for conditions up there, and also the birch. Its leaves are so small that it fertilizes the ground as well. You know, its leaves are so small that it just finds its way down into the earth through the grass. If that means so it fertilizes and composts the ground and makes the ground better each year and so it's doing a kind of cycle of growing, and then every autumn when the leaves fall, the leaves are so thin and small they find their way down into the earth to make compost, you know, and make the earth better for other trees as well, you know,
So
including
it's
its own.
really
So
like natural composting, yeah? If you have a birch
yes, yeah,
planted
yeah,
nearby,
yeah,
yeah?
yeah, natural
Okay.
composting.
Yeah, and I've got another question. If let's say it's windy, and then is it also kind of salt wind coming? You know, because Loch Eriboll is just nearby. Like, does it have an impact on the trees?
Yeah, thanks. This is something I've been looking into and studying very well over the last number of years, especially the last few years. I was seeing a point with the alder tree, and when it was individually away from the other trees, when it was growing individually, you know, away from other trees, it was dying right back, going right back, you know, just completely doing well and then going right back. You know, I thought, is there a disease or is there something wrong or what's going on? And thankfully, I looked up one of my Scottish trees book. I don't have it at hand, but I have it somewhere here. It's the trees, Scottish trees. I can't get it there now because it'll take too long to find, but it's my tree Bible, and I looked up the Scottish trees, and I looked up alder, and all it said alder trees don't like salt winds, you know. So
Oh,
so this gave me the answer to why the alder trees were getting affected so bad, and I've noticed with mountain willow as well. You know, mountain willow as you know, and has is affected too. You know, and I've seen the answer to this is that planting in density with other trees to protect, like birch, rowan, oak, you know, and other trees helps take the salt. They take the strain of the salt. So planting in fierce density together means that they take the salt, and then it allows the alder, pine, or mountain willow to get up, you know,
wow.
to make the food and make the because the salt damages the leaves and the particles of the leaves. If you put salt over something, you know, it makes sorry, if you put salt over the leaves, a thick layer of salt over the leaves, it makes it difficult for the leaves to get photosynthesis and get sugar and make sugar if there's constantly salt on the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So planting in thick density of other with other trees helps prevent this. The salt spray, they take the salt spray, and it allows the other trees to not get so much. So it allows them to get up and to make food and to make growth. So it's amazing how trees help each other, and I think it's something that humans can look at as well in a sustainable society, you know, as well. And that's why I'm delighted to be a part of Legacy Trees. I think humans can take a lot out of, you know, learning off of how trees act in a community, and how trees act in a self-sustaining way, and helping each other, and being together, and helping, you know, not only through their roots. People seem to focus on only through their roots. There's other ways they can help each other too, and it's been a fantastic learning experience for me, and an eye-opener, you know, to see how well they both adapt, and how well they help each other through it in an extreme climate.
Yeah, these are golden words, Johnny. I think, yeah, I totally see eye to eye with you. Like the trees represent a perfect example of the community, and I also strongly believe that we, together with Legacy Tree people, will also be the same exemplary community, just like the trees, helping each other and building sustainable society together. And it's awesome to have you on board. So just one more question from me. What were your main things that you did this time?
The grass was all long, you know, all around the house, so I was just really cutting the grass, and I really spent my time doing that, and also spent my time walking through the trees, telling them deeply how much I love them, and how much I am so delighted that they're doing so well. I was just delighted about them, and how much they've grown, and to see the round and full berries. It's a wonderful sight, the round. You have the green leaves, and you have the red, juicy, round small berries in bunches all around the tree. It's a fantastic. I highly recommend MD to have a look at that if they have the time. You know, it's just a fantastic contrast with the orange, red, they go orange first and then turn red, and that in contrast to the green leaves as well. And I went to see the trees I planted for my late granda Bob, so I went to see them, and the Scots pines, and what a jump they've made. They've went from about that to about that, you know. So they've made a big jump. So I was delighted to see that. But I also found some fungus, you know, some stake fungus as well. I've forgotten the big Latin name for them, but it's stake fungus as well. So I was delighted to see some of that. That means the trees are talking to each other, and helping each other through their root systems, and the fungus starts going, and then that allows the trees to access food, you know, so it helps break up the soil, and it shows that the ecosystem is working, you know. So the fungus attracts flies and snails and spiders, so then it attracts other life. Birds, you know, go into the fungus and start eating some of the spiders and beetles, and you know, so it's all a big ecosystem of helping one another. So I was dead surprised to see the fungus, because I thought it was quite early to see that in 8 years. I was expecting to see that in 10 to 20 years. So,
wow.
so I thought it was quite early to see that, but I'm delighted that that's happening. That's the oak doing its job, and the other trees doing their jobs as well. So all was good. So I was delighted to be there, and I'm very, very happy to be involved with Legacy Trees, and I'm really happy to be lucky and grateful, and my love of nature is growing by each time that I visit there. And I'm still sharing around to everyone else. But yeah, nature's so inspiring, and nature's so important for us all. And I think, you know, it shows by the work I do, and like yourself do, and Andres as well, that there's a lot more work to do, and spreading the positive vibe, and to other countries and other people, you know.
Yeah, thank you for the updates, Jonathan. So now we've got all of them, and my last question is, when do you plan to go to the Croft again? Most likely you will be planting the trees in autumn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be planning to go in sometime in September. You know,
September.
I'll decide sometimes up at the Croft it's a bit later. Things are a
Yeah.
bit later. So I'll decide then. I don't September sometimes a bit early up there for planting. So it might be end of September, October before I'll be planting. But I've got all the trees. I've got trees here ready to go that are crying to get out of the pots and into the earth. They're sort
Yeah,
of going,
right.
I'm not happy, I'm not happy. I mean, you can see a tree's not happy. It starts to shed, it grows to as far as it can in a pot, and then it starts to shed its leaves, some of its leaves, too early, and that's telling you it's unhappy. I want out, let me out of here. I need
That's a
space.
clear sign. Yeah, I want to be replanted at the
Yes,
Croft.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like get me out of here. Well, the trees say that, get me out of here, out of this pot. You know, I'll do it myself if I have to. So I'm getting messages from all the trees telling me, Johnny, when are we getting to the Croft? So so that's been I've been hearing that loud and clear all through the lockdown. Johnny, get me to the Croft. Johnny, get me to the Croft. Why are you not moving me? So so I'm sure they'll get to the Croft. They'll get to the Croft soon. But I'm so happy when I do get them to the Croft because and I'm so delighted when I get them. I get them in. I've got a tree to dedicate to one of my online followers who died recently. Patricia Wilkins, who's one of my first followers way back when I first joined Facebook. So she died recently, and I've still to plant a tree. So I'll be doing that. So I was very sad to hear of her passing, but just to say a message to her family that I will be planting her tree, and I will be putting it in as soon as I can. I've just got to wait for the right time, because if you do it too early, then the trees are still awake, and they don't really take if it's done too early. It's not a good ploy. But so more trees the better. That's what we say in Legacy Tree.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you so much for sharing all the updates. We are wishing you a great day and looking forward to new updates in September from the Croft. So have a great day, everyone. Bye, Johnny. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.